Hi Ritu, how are you?
Good, thanks. How you doing, Rachel?
Doing great. So to start, you've done a lot of action in your career, and so I wanted to ask you, how do you figure out where the action sits in a character's body to make them all different from one another when you're kind of doing those action sequences?
Cool question. I guess I would think what this person would have done themselves. Um, with Zara, she's a trained spy, and she's, uh, you know, um, I think she would have trained in Krav Maga and Jiu-Jitsu, and I think she boxes. So it's that conversation, and then incorporating all of that into how she fights and into the choreo. Um, but yeah, I think then, for instance, when I did Polite Society, that was very much about, that was sort of a more fantasy where the fighting had come from. So we were able to sort of create from that place. And I wanted to be more of a role model for my younger sister. So a bit more of like a bulldozer, kind of a bit more, um, I don't know, a bit more brutal. For the sake of being brutal because it's fantasy. So yeah, it's different every time.
When I have to imagine as a Brit that playing an MI6 agent rules, because it's kind of like our Jack Reachers, where we're like, yeah, that guy is just, or I guess even John Wick, where it's like that guy's taking everyone out. I want to be like that as an American. But is that the equivalent of like for you to be an MI6 agent?
What do I aspire to be?
Well, like, is that like the British equivalent? Is like the MI6 is kind of like when you get to play that, that's fun because we don't
Yeah,
really
a
have
bit,
like
a
MI6 agents.
bit. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I want to play this role.
You just have to, you inherently feel like a badass.
Yeah,
I was like, I just don't understand because I was like, we don't have them. I just know James Bond is an MI6 agent.
really, really fun.
Well, I do like the dynamic of the show where it is almost an unlikely pairing. Like, yes, they're both people who are very well skilled and they know how to protect and fight, but they don't know each other at the start. And it's like then they have to kind of work together. When you have that relationship in something, is that like fun for you to get to play those moments? Or do you sometimes wish you had like well, this is my guy, and we've had this whole backstory and we know everything about each other to kind of rely on?
I mean, there's no preference really. It's just whatever I think uh, it suits the story. I mean, I'll always do my best to be like, what's the arc here? But and pull that further. But if that if it lends to the story and if there's even time to explore that, Um so I really enjoyed getting to play this idea of there's paranoia and trust issues with this man, and we kind of have this synergy right away. But I'm not sure about him, and then he's not sure about me, and then we kind of are like, actually, you're all right. um, and then we are able to like tease each other and care for each other. So yeah, it's fun when you get to play lots of different colors.
Does that kind of isolation where she is unsure in the beginning help you when you're approaching a character and it's a new character for you to kind of embody?
Well, that she's kind of like new to it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If I'm doing things a little bit like not quite perfect, I'm like, well, she wouldn't anyway. So it's yeah, that I guess helps. But then she has to be really good at stuff too. So then I have to get good at stuff. So that's cool.
Like, and then I have to be an MI6 agent.
And then I have to fight like an MI6 agent, and then it gets a whole thing. Yeah.
Are you the kind of actor though that like I like the first time we meet her, she has blood all over her face and is just like a wreck. Or the first time like the two of them meet. Is that for you something that is like you like getting all dirty and looking a mess? Or would you rather be like, can't she just be like pretty today? Like she
No,
doesn't need the blood?
I really love looking bad on screen. It just takes the pressure off. Like I'm all glammed up and I'm like, it's like a lot of pressure. But I really enjoyed that whack on more blood, more grease. I don't know. Yeah, I love that.
It does things like that though, they help do they help you when you're like figuring out exactly who she is? Like if she is someone who's like, I'm not wiping this blood off my face, we're having the conversation we need to have, blood and all.
Yeah, I guess like I mean your costume and hair and makeup that helps so much. But I don't know. I don't know if it's like this is her. It just kind of like happened. Um I don't think she particularly likes to be dirty. Am I dirty in the show? Am I
Well,
just
no,
like a
it
complete
looks
mess?
like in the
I am.
beginning it's
There's a
just
lot of blood. Yeah,
yeah, it's
there's
like
a
the
lot of blood.
blood is like dried, so it
Yes.
looks different.
Mm. Well, I don't think that she likes that, but it's her circumstance. All right. It's a circumstance.
She's like, I have to get this done. I'm an MI6 agent. I'm
Yeah,
doing it with my blood on. Uh,
exactly.
with
Mhm.
something like this, I also have to ask this actor question because I've always wondered. I, as an American, shockingly, have never just like held a gun. But when you first get that in your body and you're like, okay, this person has, and they've done it for a while, how hard is that transition from like you holding the gun for the first time and being like, oh, I'm supposed to know how this feels when I shoot it and all that stuff, to kind of like the comfortability that you eventually have when you're filming?
Yeah, it's hard. Um, I remember the first time I was shooting this movie called Red Notice, and I went to a
Mhm.
shooting range before we were filming. It was during COVID, so it was just like I wasn't sure how much training I'd be able to get and that kind of thing. And I remember holding the gun for the first time. It was really, yeah, um, very uncomfortable for me. But you know, a lot of training later, and then I'm all like, it's a third limb. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's
Third
like
limb? Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. Anyway.
it's the toy guns I get. I know how to hold a toy gun, but it's the blowback that I'm like, I would never know. Like I would just be like, does it go like this? Like how where is the
I know because it's like I would try and like not blink when I would shoot it. So I was like, no, no, it looks like I'm scared.
you have to look. I mean my eyes closed just shooting. But
Yeah. Um, yeah. But then I think some of the guns would not be so epic with the blowback.
mhm.
I don't know what I'm saying. Does that even make sense?
Yes,
Anyway,
it makes
some,
sense to me.
yeah, sometimes they wouldn't be quite as like shockingly loud and stuff. So it was easier to act like you are a professional at this.
There's always wonder because I'm like, how many actors are out here like, I'm really good with guns? It's like,
Yeah, and then you get like different trainers, and they'd be like, "No, it's not like this." I'm like, I've been holding a certain way for 4 episodes straight, and now you're telling me I'm gonna. So I'm getting better at it, but it's inconsistent at times, probably.
because it's funny because it looks so cool on screen where someone's like this with the gun. And I'm like, you look really cool, but also I have to understand how you get there because I couldn't do it. I'd look like a fool.
You'd pick it up. You'd pick it up after a bit of training. I'll give you a day.
Give me a day to work
Yeah.
with the gun.
Ah.
For my last question, I do have to ask, with a show like this finally coming out on streaming, I love this. We have a lot of these on streaming, but they're all fun to kind of sit and watch these like action thrillers. What for you is the most exciting part about people getting to now engage with it and watch it at home with their families or whoever they choose to watch it with?
Um, I think just people getting to have a bit of escapism. I feel like I love like working and then I come home and I've just got like a TV show that I am excited to watch, just knowing that can feel kind of um comforting and you get to like live with these characters and um yeah, it explores like why we do certain things that we do and the characters like um are all very complex and so there's a lot that you can take away and enjoy from it. So yeah, just I don't know. I don't know. I hope people like it. We'll
I
see.
think I think they will. And thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for everyone to get to see Paris Has Fallen.
Oh, thanks. It was lovely to speak with you.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.